Hello YouTube. A few people have been commenting on my channel recently, asking for my opinion on videos by a MGTOW YouTuber called Turd, Flinging Monkey. Now, I was somewhat familiar with him already after having watched and disagreed with a couple of his videos in the past. But since there's a demand for it, I agreed to make a response video to one of Turd Flinging Monkey's videos, specifically one entitled She'll Never Love You. This led me to watching his updated version of that video, and I decided after watching it that it wasn't really appropriate for a beat-by-beat response. Huge amounts of the video are full of factually accurate but only somewhat relevant or a little bit misleading information, and this is not really worth addressing point by point. Instead, what I'll do is give you an overall impression I get from watching his video and my own thoughts on the issue. So the general argument made in the video is that humans are animals driven by instinct just like any other animal, and that our mating instincts drive us to act in certain ways. Specifically for men, this leads us to want to impress and protect fertile, attractive young women, and for women it leads them to seek protection and resources in a mate. And this is true in a general sense, but I feel that Mr. Monkey undersells the human capacity for overriding our instincts. It's true that we have little control or no control over our instinctual urges themselves, but we do have a great deal of control over our actions, and we are capable of training ourselves to react to our urges in certain ways. I'll give an example. The most basic instinctual situation is the fight or flight response. Our brain detects a situation that is threatening, and our instincts kick in, telling us either to eliminate the threat or to get out of the situation. And if neither option is available, we usually end up freezing. And in any given emergency situation, we see people acting frequently in one of those three ways. But it's important to note that not everyone is controlled by their instincts in these situations. And those with training, like police and firefighters, are able to remain rational and in control even in emergency situations. So what this tells us is that through mental training and experience, we can learn to become masters of our instincts. And that's what makes the difference between us and other animals. Now, Mr. Monkey does seem to be aware of this, as at the end of his video he advises his viewers to overcome their instinctual urges. But he doesn't seem willing to extend this same ability to women. Yes, women instinctually will look for a man who can protect and provide for her, and then leave that man when they can no longer do so. But women are just as capable as men of overcoming their biological urges and training their brain to react differently to different stimuli. The crux of Mr. Monkey's point is that a woman will never love a man because that love is contingent on things the man has or can do. And if those things disappear, then the love disappears with it. Even if that's true, then it's just as true on the other side. See, men love a woman's fertility and genes. By Mr. Monkey's logic, men do not really love women either, and will stop loving them when the woman's looks fade and she can no longer produce children. And yes, that does happen in many cases, but certainly not in anywhere close to all cases. Could it be then that love doesn't just boil down to biological reproductive instincts, but is actually a complex interpersonal emotion that depends on any number of different factors? So yes, a woman who cares only about things like a man's job and his money will probably never truly love a man. But that does not describe every woman. In the same way, a man who only cares about a woman's youth and attractiveness will probably never truly love a woman. But again, that does not describe every man. Women and men are capable of valuing things about each other beyond just what our instincts tell us to value. In the end, though, what I really don't agree with is that Mr. Monkey advises men to pretty much give up on the idea of any kind of romantic relationship with a woman. Even if what he says is true, the advice should be for men to give up on relationships with materialistic women. Or if you think, like I believe Mr. Monkey thinks this, if you think that all women are materialistic to some degree, then men should accept that love isn't permanent. But they can be assured that as long as they have money and resources, they'll be fine. Men have been doing this for as long as there have been men and women, and for many men, it has worked out just fine. At the same time, I think advice should be directed both at men and at women. If men can learn about their instincts and change their actions, then so can women. If enough women are convinced to fight their instincts for hypergamy, then society may have some hope for the future. So rather than advising men to give up, I would personally be advising both men and women to train their brains to overcome their instincts. But that's just my opinion. If Turd Flinging Monkey or one of his fans ends up watching this, I would love to hear from you. And please note that I don't completely disagree with everything you have to say. It's just that I've looked at your video and I think that your solutions, well, they could be better. So, everybody that's watching, thank you, and I wish you all the best.